Okay, this is our third installment for our NCEC Virtual Career Fair. And today we are talking about careers in tourism, and we have Deanne Cunningham from North Dakota Tourism. So I'm going to turn it over to you.
All right. Well, thank you for being here and attending Career Day for North Dakota Tourism. I really appreciate that. My name again is Deanne Cunningham. I'm a group travel marketing manager for the state. I have had the privilege to work for tourism for 21 wonderful years. It has given me the opportunity to travel around the whole state of North Dakota and find out all the hidden gems that you have in your communities. But it's also part of my job is that business to business, that networking with these tour operators, group leaders, travel agents, and just spreading the word about how North Dakota is so great and what we have to offer. In the tourism industry, we're focused on that customer experience. We want to make sure that it is a positive experience that they are getting when they come to North Dakota. And when we think about the jobs that are associated with tourism, for us, for North Dakota Tourism, we have 14 individuals that work, but we cover everything from marketing and sales. And the marketing portion of it, I mean, that includes your digital assets, which are your photography, all the photographs that we get submitted to us or that we take. We have our e-marketing team that does digital. We have our public relations person, and she just does a phenomenal job about getting, stories out, sharing what's positive about our state, what's positive about your communities, getting that information sent out. And then, along with the marketing, like I said, we have a sales portion, and that's kind of what I do. I am sales with group travel. We also have a global person who is sales, and then our outdoor person and our travel counselor. We are lucky. We are still one of the states that we have an actual live person that answers the phone. She makes that first impression. So if she's polite and pleasant to talk to, people are going to stay on the line. They're going to ask more questions. And that is such an important part of North Dakota and sharing that positivity that, this is a great state to come and live and work. Our global person, he works in 7 different nations, I should say, the Netherlands and Germany and Europe and Australia and all those markets. And then our outdoor promotions, he is just exactly it, outdoors. But now what's unique about this year is that, okay, we all know that this COVID hit, which was really bad, but it increased sales in kayaks and canoes and boats, RV rentals, RV purchases, everything, bicycles, all skyrocketed. People want to get outside. They want to experience what is out there. And what do we have? We have a lot of room for people to breathe. We have our Theodore Roosevelt National Park. We have our state parks. We have the grasslands. We have wildlife management areas. All of this is a plus for North Dakota. And so while I'm talking, I want you all to think about what's your hidden gem in your community. What's the one thing that if you had somebody from out of state call you up and say, I'm coming to Botno, I'm coming to Belcourt, I'm coming to Rolla. What is the one thing that you can think of right away that you want to share with this person? Because I'm going to ask those questions because I want to know. I want to make sure that I'm sharing that correct information with my tour operators that I'm working with. All right. So again, our big thing with tourism is reinforcing that positive image, like I just said. So we do that a lot through our marketing. We do that through our advertising. We do that through our public relations. But one of the unique things that we do is we host people. So we call that a familiarization tour or like product development tour. And what that means is that we invite tour operators, travel agents, group leaders, along with media and bloggers and writers. And we bring them into the state and we host them. So we can host them for 3 or 4 days. And we create this amazing itinerary and we take them around the state and showcase what we have. And we let them talk to your locals. We let them shop and taste local. We want them to get that amazing experience that's in your community. And once they're in there and they're talking to your neighbor, your people, that's the best thing ever for that. Let's see here. So this right here is also a prime example of what tours goes right. First, you start off with your networking and you are at this big major convention. Now, I've been attending these conventions for many, many years. It's all about networking. It's all about talking to those people and making sure that they know who you are and you know who they are and that they remember what you have in your state. So in this perfect example is I'm talking to a company. They end up coming out for a familiarization tour. That's the photo with the Lewis and Clark interpretive site. Along with that, then they go home and they create a tour and they sell it. They sell it to your grandmas, their grandpas. They sell it to your boomers. They sell it to anybody who wants to come and visit North Dakota, and they package that. So then they come into your state and they're going to stay at one of your hotels or a different lodging experience. It could be a casino, but they're going to overnight here and they're spending money in North Dakota. And they're going to go to your attractions and they're going to check out your museums and they're going to be eating in your restaurants. And they are making that economic difference. So that is a picture of things going right. Now, I said that I want to just take some time and debunk some myths out there because I'm sure that you've heard some of these. Tourism is just a family of 4 driving around with a minivan. North Dakota is the least visited state. Tourism jobs only offer low paying employment. Tourism is the only offered in the summer. That's only the time we get visitors. We're going to talk about this. Okay, so there are hundreds of different niches out there. We break it down into 3 categories: your leisure, your business, and your visiting family and relatives. But being youth like you, some of you might be in band and you take band trips. Some of you might be in choir and you take choir trips. We have special interest groups. We have special events that draw people in from all over the world. We have hunting and fishing here in the state, adventure, all of that adds to tourism. And now when you're thinking about jobs, think about that avenue. There's a lot that you can do in the hospitality industry. So I threw these slides in there to show that this is what's bringing people in. I mean, some people want to rock climb, which they do out by the Theodore Roosevelt National Park. Some people want to do the tandem dropping out of an airplane, special sports, your NDSU football games, your UND hockey games. I mean, even your local football games. They bring in people, and bringing in people is making an economic difference. But we want to make sure that they're getting that Positive influence. So I hear this all the time, and maybe you have, the least visited state. We are not the least visited state. Actually, Alaska is the least visited state. They get like 2.6 million visitors a year. Then there's Delaware. They get 7.8. Wyoming gets, I think, 12 million visitors a year. We get 22.6 million visitors. So we are not the least visited state. So if you hear somebody saying that, please, in a very positive way, just let them know Alaska's the least visited state and California is the most visited state. Okay, myth number 3, low paying jobs. Leisure is the lowest paying jobs. That is so not true. There's full-time jobs, there's part-time jobs, it's so flexible. And ZipRecruiter actually puts North Dakota at 13th out of 50 states of mid-level, high-paying jobs. So here is my myth. Here's an extra myth thrown in there. When I say hospitality, are you only thinking of hotels? Is that what comes to your mind? Because sometimes that's what people think. Hospitality is just working in a hotel. That is a myth. Hospitality is everything. It is from not only the GMs and the managers and the people that are working in the hotel industry, but it is your agricultural, your farm and ranchers who are inviting people onto their property to talk about the bison that they raise, or the dairy farm, or the technology that they use on those farms. It is the unmanned aircraft systems that are being built and discovered and used up in Grand Forks. It is everything from small businesses to the building of the drones, to the technology behind the drones, to your park rangers and your state park rangers, and even, farmers markets. You have to think about hospitality as it spans everything. It is you being personable with somebody else and sharing what you have. That's hospitality. And that is tourism. All of that comes into play. Our myth number 4, we're only open Memorial Day through Labor Day. Really? Well, we might get our most visitors through April and June and July through September, but we're open in October through December, and you know that, right? Botno Winter Park. We've got downhill skiing, we have snowboarding, you've got your snowmobiling, ice skating, hockey. We have people coming in for ice fishing. We are not closed, and that is a great message to get out to people. And we let people know that when we are meeting with them, we are not closed in the wintertime. It's just winter. Dress up warm, you come and enjoy, and you have a great time. So what brings visitors into North Dakota? And we talk about this a lot. We talk about one of it is our North Dakota outdoors. We have such a special place. We have our Theodore Roosevelt National Park. We have our state parks, like I said, our grasslands. We have special events that are held each year that draw in hundreds and thousands of people. We have our state fairs. We have our great boutique shops. People come in for that, and that is that economic boost that we give to those communities. One motor coach that comes in and stays in your community, that's $4,000 right there with that motor coach. But then you have to think about the people that are on that motor coach. They're spending $125 to $150 being on that motor coach each day. So if we can get them to spend 2, 3, 4 days in North Dakota, we are making a great impact. they love to come and see the powwows, cowboys, Native American experiences, our International Peace Garden, Medora. They come for the Kaplan Fest, and they've come for the horse racing. Motorcycle groups come down from Canada. We have people taking your tickets for to go on a horse ride. I mean, all of this is hospitality, and you just need to think about what you want to be when you grow up. I mean, this expands the whole world. Let's see, I have just a quick little video. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. No, 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 no. What is special about today? Come on, think about it. November 2nd. Is it a special day? It is. It is our statehood birthday. We're 131 years old today. We, on November 2nd, 1889, President Benjamin Harrison took papers, took North Dakota and South Dakota, covered them up, and he signed them. So we really do not know if we're the 39th state or the 40th state, but N comes before S, so we are the 39th state. So congratulations and happy birthday to our state, our North Dakota. And this is a little video that we have that that just lets people know that we are open.
Someone once said, life is what happens when you're busy making plans. So let's go there. Let's feel that legendary feeling once again. When the heart says go, North Dakota will be ready. So let's aim for the horizon and let the northern lights guide us. Let's go there.
There we go. And so I just want to talk a little bit again. Thank you for attending here. And you know, Theodore Roosevelt, he has so many great quotes out there, but we do love this one. Do what you can with what you have where you are. Just let that sink in a little bit. Do what you can with what you have and where you are. This is a perfect time for you to be thinking ahead of your whole life and what you have coming up. And any career you choose will be great. And I'm so thankful for being here. I appreciate that, for having me here.
Like that.
Yes.
So what all kinds of jobs are included in that grouping?
Portion right there.
Yeah.
So they looked at your hotel industries, your cruise lines, your airlines. They looked at your I had a list here. Your cruise lines, your airlines, your executive chefs, your park rangers, your state park, all of those kind of employees that they took that into consideration. And so, yeah, so we're doing pretty well with that. 13th out of 50. I mean, that's great. I know of some personal general managers of some hotels that are making very nice money, you know, over that $65,000, $75,000 a year, that's a pretty nice chunk of change to have. You know, and it's just everything. You think about the executive chefs, your business owners that are out there that are making some good money. Yeah, hospitality is everywhere. It is all of us. And that's the most important thing to remember, is that when we are interacting with people, I mean, we're ambassadors. That's us. We are that ambassador. And so that's why I ask those young people to think about that hidden gem, that one thing that's in their area. You know, let me know what that is so I can share that with my staff and share that with our tour operators. And let's get people into everybody's communities and traveling again, and spending some money and experiencing that positive image of North Dakota that we have.
So what kinds of majors or educational paths fit with all the different jobs you described?
Oh boy. Well, I think they're on the right path right now. I mean, look at the colleges that we have that offer. UND right now, the air traffic controllers and the piloting programs. You have the unmanned aircraft systems right now is huge. Drones. I mean, and the technology, that path right there is just taken off. You got your NDSU, your agricultural, your farmers, your ranchers, all of that, your NDSU county extension agencies, all of that is a part of tourism too. I mean, agritourism is like the second largest industry, I do believe, but that it's spreading over into tourism. We have the certain farmers and ranchers that are willing to open up their place, and we bring people on and they talk about how they're raising cattle, or if they're raising bison, or what's the technology that they're using now. Some of them are using drones to fly over their crops to see what's going on. So I don't know if I answered your question, but I mean, there's just so many different paths to take in all of the colleges that are out there.
Who are the most common groups that come to the state? Like when you're reaching out to sell tour packages, who are our most interested people?
Okay, so in the international market, Fred Walker does the international, but in the international, we receive a lot of visitors from Norway, Sweden, Finland, Denmark, Germany. We're seeing an increase in Australia. So those are those. But for me personally, I meet with a lot of tour operators. So we're getting a lot of people from the East, your Tennessee, your Missouris, your, what does it say? Yeah, St. Louis, Missouri, Tennessee, Kentucky, places like that. And it's mostly your boomers, my age, and the senior market. We are seeing younger, but they're doing more, of course, with like the student travel. So when they come, it's student travel is more, they want to participate in something like, they're either going to be singing or dancing or doing something like at the Medora musical, or they're going to be volunteering somewhere. But mostly on my end, it's the more of adult that are coming through. North Dakota, we're Scandinavian, and we've got the German from Russia heritage. And so that plays a big part. A lot of people are interested in our Native American experience, our cowboys, so rodeos and powwows, and just being able to taste the food and touch everything and see how they grow the garden. That's what they're coming for. So, just go out to ndtourism.com, and we have a wealth of information out there. If any of the students really want to reach out to me and talk to me, my name is Deanne Cunningham. I would love to hear what they have in their communities, get them excited about bringing people into their place. And yeah, so ndtourism.com, and Deanne Cunningham, and I'm at 701-328-2502.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Amy.